couple of people, different joints. 2, 3. Hey. Welcome back to Seriously Joking, man. It's been a minute. Happy New Year, everybody up out there. I got my man Noob One. What's going on, Noob?
Chilling. What's up?
Ain't
Peace,
nothing much, man. Hey, man, there's a lot of snow about this joke.
For real?
Yeah, man, it's been snowing since the morning time, man. Yeah, man. We're gonna see what this thing turns out to be whenever it stops. Got a few things on top, man. I guess we're gonna start with like the most recent, man. GameStop, Robinhood, man. Have you heard about this, man? You know anything about this, man? This whole inside trading, canceled trade. I guess I can't call it inside trade since they tried to cancel everybody trade.
Yeah, well, technically it isn't really insider trading, but it's I know they were like kind of like revolting against a short.
Yeah.
That a hedge fund was trying to do, and by doing that, they like not bankrupted, but the hedge fund, I forgot the name of the hedge fund, lost like about $13-14 billion in the midst of that, and then Robinhood froze particular stocks like GameStop stock and AMC stock, which they were going after next. So it was like GameStop stock is the main the main culprit. Then you have AMC and Nokia, and I ended up trying to grab some Nokia stock off Robinhood, and that night. But they don't. You can't get your offline off time stocks approved till it opens up the next morning, and Nokia stock that I got canceled. And there were two other stocks I grabbed that they were talking about that, put a couple dollars, nothing big, just to kind of get my feet wet. And they approved those, and they also approved Bitcoin. Like there's a big, I don't know if it's called Dogecoin or Dogcoin.
Okay.
It's spelled Dodge, but it's like Dogecoin, which is what do they call that? The Bitcoin. That's that's super cheap that they're trying to boost up to like $1, $1 a unit. Right now It's like less than 2 cents a share. So they're trying to get it up to like $1 a share. But yeah, that, and the whole but I remember seeing clips from what is MSNBC's business channel. They had
the name of it, but
they had the president of NASDAQ on there, talking about it, like so the establishment flipped out, which I was happy about. But and it also looks like they're going to have civil lawsuit. So I'm gonna try to get into that since they
And you should.
they played my stock. But actually, so people are talking about forget Robinhood. Robinhood CEO went on TV and embarrassed himself. I didn't see the clip, but tried to explain away what happened. And it turns out that Robinhood's connected to the hedge fund through like a larger fund that controls the hedge fund. So it's interesting. It's just weird Wall Street tentacles, and there's a whole lot of different takes on there. I'll spare the people, but yeah, it was an interesting moment.
Well, see, my thing is that when Wall Street loses money, all of a sudden it's all like these regulations that need to come in and so on and so forth. But when people like you and I start losing money, it's just like, oh, whatever. And now it was like a golden opportunity for the average American to be able to cash in. You know what I mean? To buy up a stock and be able to cash in real quick. You know what I mean? On some information that they accidentally let get out. Otherwise, the difference would have been everybody else would have lost their shirt. You know what I mean? In the deal, everybody else would have got ripped off, and instead of like this big corporation or whatever losing billions of dollars, they would have stood to gain billions of dollars. But now, since they lost money, I see Senator Warren sending me emails or whatever and making these comments about Wall Street and this and that. I'm like, man, listen, man, stick to student loans. You know what I mean? You can't get student loans done, but you want to talk to me about, you know what I mean, the average American about to make some money on Wall Street for a change. You know what I mean? Make big money in one swoop deal. You know what I mean, for a change. And now all of a sudden you want all these different regulations and all this. You want to investigate. And, give me a break, man. You know what I mean? Stick to the student loans.
Yeah, it was weird because she kind of made her political bona fides by dealing with regulation of Wall Street. So in a way she can talk about it, but I think she framed it. The way that it was framed, it looked like it was in defense of Wall Street as opposed to, being in defense of the little guy, which is, or little person, little woman, whatever you want. And that was my problem with it. So just like, all right, man, whatever. So she's on social media. She's been getting, particularly on Twitter, been getting what they call ratioed on that and just smashed on that. Like,
I was like, man, you're not going to defend us, man. Don't defend people with billions of dollars, man.
Right.
That's just ridiculous. Switch up topics real fast, man. I'm gonna hit you with a blitz of things, man. I want to get your opinion on. I was kind of leery about whether I wanted to touch this or not. Impeachment part 2. We both know that it ain't gonna go through. Period. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna go through. But me and my cousin, we were talking about it, me and a buddy of mine, Freddie, we were talking about it, and we were going back and forth about like the whole impeachment thing. And my opinion at first was just, it's a waste of time. You know what I mean? The Republicans ain't gonna let it happen, so on and so forth. Then I started reading all the benefits that this dude gets as a former president. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's bad enough that this dude made, I forgot what the figure was of money that this dude made just from going to his own resort over the last 4 years.
Right.
Hundreds of millions of dollars just going to his own resort, which, I guess conflict of interest doesn't exist there. But when we start talking about this dude is going to get $1 million travel budget, he gets security for like the rest of his life, and just like, you know what I mean, a whole rack of other benefits, man. It's just going to cost us hundreds of millions of dollars, man. You know what I mean, in the long run, unless this dude end up copping COVID again and dying. But You know, it's ridiculous, man. The package, the severance package that this dude is going to get, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, I changed my mind. Yeah, maybe maybe I do want this dude to be impeached again. You know, a lot of people just want it just so he can't run for public office.
Right. Oh no, I mean the damage is done as far as that. Like even if he can't run again, it's not like he's not going to have influence over a segment of the Republican Party, and even some disaffected Democrats. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on impeachment because it's like, to me, that's not the main priority. Like, it's like if you're pushing impeachment and the media is pushing impeachment over dealing with, economic downturn, quote unquote, that's leaving people that's like four times, employment rate is like four times that of when the recession in 2008, I believe. You know what I mean? And they still haven't come to a COVID relief bill since, when was that? July, since the first one, and then they had like the emergency $600, which is like, so it turns out we get like about $105 per month, from the government for, dealing with the effects of the societal effects of COVID. But yeah, so that's my main, when I initially look at the impeachment, that's what I'm like, this seems like it's not the biggest priority, in my eyes. But I get it. I'm like, I still don't think it's gonna go through, but if you think that's gonna, stop him, that's cool. I mean, you're just making him more of a like, if that goes through, you're making him more of a martyr for his
people, right?
Fan base who are already disaffected and tried to storm the Capitol building. You know what I'm saying? So you're just like,
hold off on that Capitol building thing. I want to get into that in a minute, man. But what do you think about Trump starting up his own party?
I mean, he has a strong fan base. I don't know like how what the numbers are, but I don't know like how many of the so-called 74 million that voted for him. Like, I don't know how many of those are like straight diehard, but there's some really, some people look at him like he's a messiah, so, hey, I'm down for it. I'm down for more parties. It's not a party I would have interest in.
Yeah.
But, the good part of it is that it would split, Republican Party votes. So, in the off chance you got people in, independents on the quote unquote left that are like running in, Democratic circles or, in parties, like the Green Party or something like that. It might give them a chance to get on the table. But, I don't know, man. It's, more power to them. I don't support them, but I support, third, fourth, fifth, sixth parties.
The thing about him, when I heard that somebody saying that there was like a rumor of him talking about starting up his own party, I was like, you know what? I'm all in favor of that. Maybe that will push someone like these people in like the Democratic Party to actually take their own ideas, and a lot of like these black civil rights leaders, man, to say, you know what, if Trump can get his own party, why can't we? And push them, you know what I mean? Like you said, man, we can expand this thing, man, to like, you know what I mean, a couple other people, man. I see my man Don goes in, just logged in, man. Let's see if we can bring him into the conversation.
All right, cool.
Don.
What's on?
Big Don. Hey, man, we talking about your buddy Trump, man, starting up his own party, man. What you think?
Oh, yeah? What's the name gonna be?
Yeah, man, I don't even know.
You know, your man like to brand his name on everything. So
Yeah. Noob was saying Trump the Messiah party. Or Messiah Trump party. MTP.
yeah, it's gonna be Trump in it, whatever it is.
Yeah. I was just saying, man, I was hoping, man, that maybe that would spawn, a couple of more political parties, man, to form. I think that would be a great asset, man, for us to be able to get our own political affiliation going on, instead of keep trying to tag on with like these other parties that have historically, pretty much been of no benefit to us.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So Noob was saying something about storming the Capitol. I know, you in Northern Virginia, y'all all about that, man. Y'all all about that don't tread on me and everything else. I got a funny joint, man. I still think that this is so funny, man. Everybody just about everything. Everybody has been released and is at home. Even the Viking dude that was talking about he wasn't eating unless he got organic food, except one black dude from PG County. This dude is still locked up. And the only thing I was saying to myself when I seen this dude in the crowd with all the people, like, why are you there? It's not even our fight. Why are you there?
He asked for that.
Some people believe in that dude for some reason. I don't know what.
You can't come from PG County doing no Trump rally.
Exactly.
There's some other cat in from he was definitely from PG County. He had mad locks, like straight up Rastafarian bungle type shit, like big ass.
Wow.
Black Guru type joints on, and then he had a fucking Make America Great Again hat on top of his shit. I was like, yo. And he was just talking about how he loves Trump, and we're just like, hey, all right, man. I'm not gonna argue with a motherfucker, but
only thing he was missing was some Rainbow Tims.
Leader.
Lord. Yeah, man. I was sitting there looking like, wait a minute, man. You mean to tell me, man, that the chick that stole the computer that was supposedly trying to sell it to the Russians, which that part of the story, I'm like, is there like 1-800 Russian, hotline that you call if you got like some information,
Right.
Who has direct contact with these people? Anyway, she's home. The Viking dude is home. Cats that were taking dumps in the congressman offices, they all home. All of them.
No, what the brother, he was the ringleader, right?
Of course he was the ringleader.
Yeah, he started the whole movement.
You talking about that one cat? That's like an Indian cat.
Yeah,
I thought he was like a weird black dude. Like, and it's funny because dude looked like a Key and Peele character. And I saw it, I was like, yo, who is this? He looks like the black Republican dude. And yeah, I was tripping. So I peeped a little bit of dude, and dude like kind of, did the Homer Simpson backed into the bush and disappeared after that shit. But yeah.
That was really him with the Viking hat on and stuff. He just had a mask on. And it was funny because I thought the dude that got arrested was the dude that was inside the Capitol, like inside the chambers, standing around in the bubble coat.
Yeah.
But I guess it was a different dude. But I saw a couple black dudes there. I mean, it was there were some quote unquote people of color there. I saw a mad Asian dude, and some other So I don't get his support, but hey,
it is what it is.
Right.
Okay. All right, man. Since we all on board, man, and we already talking about your boy, man, and everything, man. Fast tracking citizens, you know what I mean? The number one thing that Trump didn't want. He didn't want no more citizenship. Except, people of his family. So Biden is talking about fast tracking citizens, either people that are here without papers and or bringing over. I know one of the things that he was looking to do, at least he said he was looking to do, was bring over 500,000 Indians from people from India here and fast track their citizenship. And this is with healthcare benefits. This is another one of these things that I got from Senator Warren, an email from her and a group called Move On. They both pretty much fund a Democratic, I don't even know what to call it, fundraiser called Act Blue. So, yeah, and it's saying that they want to fast track citizenship for all of these people, but with healthcare benefits. And I'm thinking, like, wait a minute, man. You know what I mean? I've been legally working, like, on paper. IRS has been tracking me since I was 14 and got my first work permit. I don't ever remember America ever offering me healthcare benefits. You know what I mean? Unless I was going to pay like $400 or $500 a month for myself through my job. I was only paying like about $200. You know what I mean, for like the whole family. But under this affordable healthcare plan, it's about $400 for me, which isn't affordable because that comes out to about $6,000-$7,000 a year with a $5,000 deductible, which pops it up to over $10,000 a year. I ain't got that for healthcare.
Right.
I see my man Everett is trying to join, man. I'm gonna go ahead and pop him up in here.
Okay.
Race first, brother.
Race first, brother.
Yeah, man. We talking about citizenship, man, with healthcare benefits. Not healthcare benefits for you, but for people that were here without papers that Biden is looking to fast track.
Whoa. When did this? I didn't hear about this. Say this again. What?
Fast tracking people without documentation that are here. And not only making them fast tracking their citizenship, but also getting them healthcare benefits.
All right, let me go back and make sure, because you gotta break things down to me, brother. You gotta break. So you saying someone that's an immigrant illegally or legally?
Illegally.
Illegally, Biden's trying to get them free healthcare.
Yeah, and citizenship.
And citizenship.
Yeah, the two go together.
What about what about us getting free health insurance? I'm lost. Am I missing a step or something?
You are. Yeah, you are. And once they get their citizenship and their healthcare benefits, you'll still be missing that step.
Well, you know, I heard Dr. Anderson say once that he was like, the goal is to keep Black people the minority. And a lot of the immigrants, like Chinese, and I hope I'm not wrong, maybe a little off if y'all can help me, but Chinese and them, they can select, some of these ethnic groups can select white now for the ethnicity. So they're using the population polls now to keep us the minority. So that could be a huge step. A lot of Hispanics are now clicking white.
Yeah.
So that's just crazy. It's just hard to get the free Obamacare for real, you know. Even Obamacare, you kicking out, and they make you go through this whole website and portal and everything to try to get it. It's crazy, man. So it's just another wow. I kind of just want to shut up and listen to y'all flow because I'm just shocked by this. I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it either. The only thing I heard about was, you know, the executive order for the DREAM Act was putting dreamers, you know, the kids born from, you know, undocumented immigrants, born in America, you know, that still aren't citizens. He like wanted to start like a path to citizenship that takes like about 8 years. And yeah, that's all I heard about that. But yeah, with the healthcare benefits, I'm just like, you know, to really speak on any of that, I'd have to like research it. So I can't, it doesn't sound, I mean, it sounds somewhat plausible, but at the same time, it doesn't, because it's like, you know, at the same time, like right now, there's a pandemic. Biden was talking about public option at the very least, like Obama did. And now they're talking about increasing subsidies for the Affordable Care Act and for COBRA. Now, I lost my job like right at the beginning of the pandemic. I got laid off. And I went to see, I was like, all right, let me see what the Cobra prices are. That shit was like $600 a month.
Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck? Like, damn. I was like paying, that's like a third of what I was paying at my job. So, yeah, it's just, so basically, he's been, it was said that he had basically like cut and paste his new healthcare plan for Americans from insurance, health insurance lobbyist wish list letter, that was sent to him. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it sounds whack, but, I still try to like personally stay away from or, keep some pause when dealing with anything where it kind of like not necessarily puts immigrants in a negative light, but kind of like pits Americans against immigrants, where it's just like pitting little people against little people, with crumbs. Like, oh, these motherfuckers getting crumbs, we ain't getting crumbs. So I still try to keep the bigger picture. Like, if that's true, that's still fucked up. But the biggest picture is that this country has the money to do what's right for the people, but they don't have the political will to do so.
My thing is that it's not that I'm trying to single out immigrants.
Oh, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying that's how that's how a lot of the stuff is framed. No,
yeah. But the overall, like you said, like the overall thing is that for instance, like there you have millions of people that pay thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? Unimaginable amount of money to be able to come here, and then you have another group of people that I don't know how much they paid. I don't know what the process was that they went through, but they all took a struggle and they all took a chance in order to get here. And some people did it legally, and some people did it illegally. And to reward the ones that have done it illegally, by giving them, but just by rewarding them, to me it just does something doesn't sit right. For me, only because my wife wasn't born here, so she has to go and get her green card. That costs money. It's not like oh well, hey man, hey baby, just see if you see if you're eligible for that Biden plan. You know what I mean? No, you're not. You know what I'm saying? And it's just you can't take a group of people and then just say like, all right, well, we're going to give them special benefits, but everybody else, the rest of you got to follow, like, the rules as they as they are.
Right.
That's my only thing with that. And while we're talking about policy and everything else or whatever, I know Everett is big on this. Biden's back, black cabinet. You know what I mean? The whole. I don't know. Me personally, I don't know if it's just symbolism or if there's actually something to it. I would like to think that there's something actually to it, but the people that he actually picked makes me believe that it's all symbolism, because just like with Trump's cabinet, a lot of these people have alternative agendas.
Well, I say, whenever you pick anybody at that level, is going to be about symbolism. I don't think anybody at that level is going to have the mentality that we have as, regular people, to be like, yeah, I'm going to go up here and change some things. I think the Secretary of Defense is black now.
Yeah.
I mean, so congratulations to that brother for obtaining that position, but I'm sure he has a military mind. He doesn't have a Pan-African mindset. So, he doesn't have a unite black people mindset, or he'll be talking about it. You'll hear about it. You'll hear statements about it.
Right.
You can't be in that position and be pro-black. The same with Kamala Harris. Like she says, she understands black people need some kind of reparations, but she's not pushing anything specifically for black people. So it lets me know in order to make change, you really can't even be in that position unless you sugarcoat it, and then get up there and start tripping. But so I guess symbolism is good to a certain degree. I guess we just need the right brother to be acting all fake and stuff and get in there and then have a cookout at the White House or something. You know what I mean? Be like, I got y'all. Tyrone, come on over, yo.
That's indeed, man. Hey, Big Don, man, you've been real solid, man. I think like some of like the other like the picks in this cabinet and the things they're doing. Some of the people like scare me, man. Like the one guy, and I can never remember this dude's name, man, that he picked. This dude is for years has been fighting against the First Amendment. He doesn't believe that Americans have the right to free speech. He doesn't think that that should be a right. And he's been fighting against it, and he wants it removed. And I found it, you know what I mean, very interesting that Biden picked this guy up and in his cabinet. The other part of that is that you have some of like these big tech companies now. For instance, I'll just give you an example. Someone posted a thing about vaccines in Senegal and said that it was like 6 or 7 children that dropped dead immediately after getting like the vaccine. So I looked to see what the website was, you know what I mean? Because he took a screenshot, and I tried to Google it. And the only thing that came up when I Googled it was our fact checker say that this is false information. It wouldn't even let me see the article. You know, I'm like, well, let me just read the article. You know what I mean? I couldn't read the article. Google it just said, you know what I mean? Google it come to the extent that we found this to be false, so we're not going to move any. You know what I mean? We're not going to allow this story to be posted, you know what I mean, on our site. Twitter sent out a letter saying that after Biden got sworn in, anybody making comments or anything about the election being fake, that they were going to pretty much suspend your account. Along with if you know what I mean, making comments or anything that don't go along with like their new community guidelines, you got 3 strikes, and after that, man, they suspending your account, they're kicking you off of Twitter. Facebook has come down with like the same thing constantly. Got see posts that don't have anything to do with COVID getting tagged as being COVID or being blocked on Instagram. So with some of like the little things, and this is getting away from like the whole Biden thing, but I see that censorship is being carried out by corporate America rather than by the courts. Censorship is being carried out, you know what I mean, through what we would call private industries that control social media. What are your thoughts on that?
Can I touch on that?
Yeah.
I've noticed that, and I said it before, free speech is dead. And to me, it ended when what's the doctor that got on there was talking about the COVID vaccine with Trump and them. Dr. What's his name? Manuel. That's when our free speech ended completely. Because when she got up there and had that interview, before that day was over with, all her social media was blocked. Every Facebook, YouTube, everything related to her was blocked instantly within a day. That's when our free speech died. And from then on, it's been the same thing. I posted a interview with a doctor talking about about the COVID, and they were just talking about they wasn't even talking about the COVID itself. They were talking about the testing strips for the COVID, and they said something about them and the actual Q-tips and stuff they were using, or something about that, and YouTube blocked it. This was actually a news report from the UK, and they blocked it. It wasn't even talking about the vaccine, but all it did was brought up the idea that, it may be some flaws in the equipment. The same country where we got this thing from, supposedly, and we're buying the same equipment from there to even do the testing for it. It's still coming from over there. So, it's too many ways they got for stuff to slip through the cracks when dealing with it, and they block it. So free speech is done as far as we know. They control the internet. Anything you put out and say that says the wrong thing, then you will be immediately blocked, and you don't have no free speech once it comes to
is social media, and we gotta, we gotta tap dance around saying what we want to say because you say that wrong term and it's over. And without even they didn't even watch the video. It's automatic. It's an algorithm that when they say whoever say something or say the wrong term, they automatically block you. I tried to, I'm like, okay, I went through the process of actually trying to dispute it, but I'm like, this dumb. I just delete and start over. But it's so bad that even when you hit delete, they saying, well, after I didn't find it out after I deleted it, but if you delete it, then it automatically to them, you don't even have the right now to come back and dispute it after you delete it. So, they got all these catch-22s when it comes to how they're doing it. So whoever that was that's been fighting for that First Amendment right and stopping that, they won. We here now. So how we get out of that, I don't know, but we're definitely here because we don't have free speech no more.
Well, I thought that was true when you go back and you look at WikiLeaks. What was their true crime? Exposing what the government was doing, and he did it at a time where the president had pushed for a law to be passed to protect people from doing such things, and he was the very first person to, that they one of the first people that they went after, after passing this law, saying, you have protection. If you expose something that the government is doing illegally, we're going to protect you. So he exposed them, and the first thing he did, then next thing you know, this dude is had to leave the country and go and hiding somewhere in Europe. You know what I mean? And then you have I know I'm about to mispronounce this dude's name. Help me out, New Assange.
Oh, Assange. Yeah, the leader. The leader of then what is this for? Julian Assange. Yeah, Julian Assange. Yeah.
And what was his crime? His crime was exposing, the government crimes. And then what's the guy that's over in Russia right now?
Snowden. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So man,
Trump might have pardoned him.
Nah, he ain't pardoned him.
Nah. He pardoned Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne got pardoned. I think so that black man got pardoned, but
yeah. A couple of dudes from Death Row Records got pardoned too. Hey man, and I don't really want to dwell on this too much, but I still think that Bill Cosby, if somebody would have dropped that bag off at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Bill Cosby would have gotten pardoned. But none of his reps dropped the bag off, so he's still where he at. That's all it took.
I think they dropped the bag to keep Bill up in there. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Bill sitting on some loot, and Bill, Bill pissed somebody off. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Because I ain't never seen anybody that wealthy with that much lack of evidence, or not to say I ain't saying he's innocent, but they taking what's the guy that I forgot the guy. No. Yo, OJ's crazy. You gotta check his Twitter account out. This
I do. Crazy. Yeah, OJ.
The Einstein or something.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. Look how long it took, and they had much evidence on him. He got off like a couple times.
Oh yeah.
They got Bill on substantial evidence. So somebody dropped the bag off like, yo, this Negro's too dangerous.
The female that he went down with though.
Mm-mm.
Come on, man. I mean, come on.
I know.
Not you. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else might believe it. Not you, Slim. Not you. Bill ain't do that.
That's a long way from the Playboy Mansion. Y'all some wild dudes, man. Yeah, man, but like the whole First Amendment thing, man, and I think that it's actually going to get worse, man, as it goes along. Like I said, now even when, like, for instance, when you start Googling different things about like COVID, it's only going to give you what, like Google, it's only going to give you what it wants. I haven't gone on Yelp, so I can't be that Yelp. But what's the other one? The Yahoo search engine or whatever. There's a couple of different.
Bing. Some people do.
Yeah.
Somebody's telling me DuckDuckGo is good for not getting tracked like Google tracks.
Yeah.
Whereabouts on that. So, but it's not the best.
Search engine.
Not the best search engine. You got to really look sometimes for stuff. So,
yeah. All right, man. Yeah, man. So in closing, man. Hey, E, since you're here, man, what was your thoughts on like these the so-called? I hate to use the word riot. I'm gonna say the Capitol protest, or I don't even know what to call this thing, man. When you have cabinet members, staff giving people tours, you have police officers walking around showing people, you know what I mean, giving them tours. These people were giving tours. I watched the video, man, where they let in the Viking dude into like the inner chamber or whatever. And the officer, opened the door, walked them in, and was like, "Hey, man, if you fellas need anything, you just let me know." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "How is this a riot, man? Like this? What is this, man? This is nonsense right here, man. This is straight nonsense." I think it was all just a distraction. At the end of the day, I think it was a distraction.
Well, probably was, but I will say, the FBI did say that it was a lot of. They didn't say it was one incident. It was like pretty much it's an inside job on several areas.
Yeah.
So, I think, man, you got the National Guard out there. They had a National Guard member, one of the guys breaking in. It's just crazy, but I don't know. I really don't have a comment on it, except for the brother that's still locked up while everybody else is out. Talking about he want to make America great again. I wonder what he's doing in jail right now. All of them white people that did way more than him are out. He's locked up still. Is he with the white supremacists? Or is he with the brothers trying to explain himself? Maybe I would like to hear what he got to say as soon as he get out. Maybe he's changed in a lot of areas.
Maybe this the son of dude that was on which one Blinky show? Maybe he's the son of a black white supremacist.
No,
Remember that Dave Chappelle skit?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. He thinks he's white.
Tyrone Biggums.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure he got a rude awakening when he got in jail. He probably was like, "This is right. America is great." He got up in there with the brothers. They was like, "Yeah, I need your commissary. We're gonna talk about how America's great."
Right.
So that brother, he's probably in there having a culture shock right now. It's crazy.
Up in that joker, like, why are you treating me like I'm black?
Mm-hmm.
Like them cats at the airport, they dragging them off of planes. Why are you treating me like I'm black? Yeah, because you're a criminal. That's why.
He probably like, so Bill and Roger out? Why am I not out? His lawyers probably like, because America's great again. He's probably shook right now.
Hey man, if he wanted the real black treatment, he didn't even see a lawyer until about 20 seconds before he walked into the courtroom to give him like the real black treatment or whatever. And the lawyer like, "Hey man, are you such and such?" Like, "Yeah, okay, all right, I'm your attorney." You try to ask him questions, and he like, "Ah, ho.
What was the one guy? The one guy, he did something crazy, and he got out, and he said, I was Donald Trump told me to do it, and this brother is in there like, I just wanted to make a change.
Thanks, Rod. Yeah, it's Clayton Bigsby. I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Forgot who was Tyrone Biggums. Was he the crackhead?
That was the crackhead.
That was a crackhead. Right.
Yeah. I think the first name you said was right. What? No, Tyrone Biggums is the crackhead?
Yeah. Clayton Bigsby is right.
That's it, Clayton. Yeah.
Clayton,
did you hear that brother talk though? How he talks?
Nah.
I just seen the picture. I just seen the article.
Yeah, they got someone he's talking. I just wanted to, I'm here for this or that. He talks just like that. And I'm here and I want to I was like, this young brother, he in for some trouble right now. I hope they got him isolated, brother.
Yeah.
I can see him.
I'm surprised he didn't get a GoFundMe like all them other cats. You know,
I'm not.
Cal Rittenhouse.
I'm not.
You know what
I'm
I'm
not
saying?
surprised at all.
I'm not. You know, I'm just saying because people. A lot of Trump people try to say, "Oh no, we're not racist. We like everybody," and blah blah blah. We just like, all right, man. Your boys up in there. Help them out.
Yeah,
Get them out in the night.
You gotta go for me like 9 hours in the closet.
Right. It's like, well, maybe he did something. What did he do? We didn't see anything.
Maybe he was the one that was trying to sell a podium on eBay. This dude was home.
yeah, that brother. I wonder what his parents saying right now. Because nobody's speaking out about it. His father probably like, boy, you on your own. Don't even let nobody know you know me.
Exactly.
Back in the day, what would happen to that dude when and if he ever got out? They'd send him right down to North Carolina, South Carolina, down Georgia to go live with uncles. And then ship him right up out of there. Be like, what happened to your boy? Oh, yeah, he went down south.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, what's going on with the black mayor, man? How you feeling about him so far, man?
Still early. Yeah, I'm supporting the brother, but it's still early. But like everything, we got to put him on the clock. I know it's a lot, and he came in on a pandemic and everything. But as these things start to clear up, we got to get the city in order. I was just had a conversation. I think I tagged you in on Facebook with a sister. She's talking about the ceasefires and she's getting frustrated. And I was telling her pretty much like the issue I think is that we're afraid. Like I'm afraid to a certain degree. We all know who the drug dealers are and where the crime is at, and we know half of who these brothers are killing each other. But are we going down there and saying enough is enough? Because we know the repercussions. It's big money in the drug game and the violence. And so the mayor is a young brother that grew up in Baltimore. You know who to touch and who to talk to. Does he have the backing? And so I mentioned, I remember you did the show, is there a sanctuary for black people? Yeah. Is there refuge for black people? What about these black people that had enough and are ready to stand up? What's going to happen to them? Are they going to get protection because the government's not going to protect them? The mayor knows the mayor knows how to fix the crime. He knows where the drug spots are. He grew up in the city, but he knows some of them people. So he's conflicted probably. Or is he going to put the hammer down and say enough is enough? We got to stop this. So, until you go to the extreme to fix it, I don't know what to say. He's just on the clock. Hopefully, we see some improvement. That's all I can pray for.
To me, it's a twofold thing. One, you have a lot of people that are unemployed that know that there are no jobs for them to go back to. So automatically, the moment the unemployment rate goes up, crime goes up. But like you said, you know what I mean? There's big money in drugs or whatever, but there's also a high death toll and in drugs on both ends, whether you're bringing it in, whether you're selling it, whether you're taking it. It's a high death rate all around. Anything involved in it, except the people that sit back, you know what I mean, that on the ground, that aren't touched. When like you're saying, you know what I mean, he knows these people, he probably grew up in these different neighborhoods and so on and so forth, but you can't feel conflicted about the people that are actually killing your people. You know what I mean? Me, you can't feel conflicted about, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, I gotta look out for blah, 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 because such and such, because the bigger picture is he's killing like the whole neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The bigger picture is, you know what I mean? He's killing the neighborhood and he's killing off the next generation. There's like, when we start talking about orphans, some people growing up orphans, I think all of y'all know that I'm Muslim. And in Islam, an orphan is a child that grew up without a father. So when you apply that to our community, you think about how many orphans, you know what I mean? How many of us grew up as orphans, and when you have like the black men and black women and these people in our communities, man, that are making our children, making our grandchildren orphans, making our great grandkids orphans. At some point, like you said, man, you got to bring down the hammer and be like, enough's enough, man. He has the power to open back up the city and be like, man, we got to get these people back to work. We got to get them back. There has to be more to, you know what I mean, in Baltimore than just Amazon. You know what I mean?
Right.
There has to other jobs in Baltimore than just Amazon in the liquor stores. I find it amazing that throughout all of this, you know what I mean, they haven't been touched at all. The liquor store has not been made to shut down and close at all. I think what was the only restriction they put on? Like now you got to close at 10 instead of 2 in the morning.
You know, you got to keep that addiction money up. That's the biggest business. That's the alcohol game bigger than the weed game. You know,
Yeah.
they never gonna shut that down.
Yeah. What's it like out there in LA, New?
They just lifted up restrictions. They had a stay-at-home order for a couple months, but you know that's not entirely, you know, what it means, what it sounds like. You know, motherfuckers didn't have to necessarily stay at home, but that like closed certain businesses, certain restaurants. So they lifted that. I'm not entirely sure what was lifted because there's a lot of outdoor dining. And being the climate is how it is out here, you can have outdoor dining at least, you know, during the day, you know, in the winter in LA. But yeah, so but the problem right now is that, you know, the you know, so-called UK strain and the Brazilian strain coming to the area, and also just the sheer amount of people here, the amount of size, you know, the size, it's like Chicago on steroids as far as like area space, and it's still like wild populated. So, and not only that, but then you have like lots of families that are like intergenerational families where it's like grandmothers, great grandmothers, uncles, sons, daughters, grandkids, all in the same place. So that adds a little more, you know, makes everything a little more precarious. So the numbers I think are going down a little bit, but
Have you seen a spike in violence out there?
yeah, but you know, from what I've seen, it's just random violence. It's not necessarily gang violence where I'm at, and this is strictly off me having the Citizen app, which is not a. I don't know if that's a good thing, because I was just looking at something today. It was like, yeah, somebody was assaulted with a broom. Like there was a couple shootings the other day. Yeah, it's like cats waving around a machete. You know, hitting people with a bat. Somebody got hit with a car. Yeah, cats be wilding out here. But there's, you know, the homelessness level out here is insane. So a lot of times when they're talking about, you know, they'll be like, oh yeah, on Reseda Boulevard, there's some dude, you know, throwing random shit at cars going by, that type of shit. You'd be like, oh, that's probably like a homeless person with you know, mental illness and shit. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, it's the mental problems that's been occurring because of the, you know, COVID and the restrictions placed on people have been pretty heavy. So I think there is an uptick in violence, you know, at least in certain segments of the population. But I don't know as far as like criminals, you know, the criminal element, and you know, because that's like some next level, you know, next level money. Because we're already like one of the biggest, you know, GDPs in the world. So I can't imagine like how much underworld money makes here compared to like, you know, Baltimore or, you know, Pittsburgh, Dallas, anything that's not like a quote unquote tier 1 city. Like they're making too much money. So I know none of that's being shut down. And then for the liquor stores, they never close, but we don't have like state stores in Pennsylvania. So it's like, you know, and then we also have liquor in, you know, grocery stores and things like that. So that's not that's not an issue. Like it's widely available. You know, even some 7-Elevens you can get liquor, you know, certain liquors, certain wines and beer and stuff like that. So
Yeah, Don goes in. Have you noticed like a uptick in like in violence in northern VA? I know you haven't noticed anything with the liquor store since you've been sipping on Mad Dog since we started.
They still make that?
Yeah, they do. They sell it at 7-Eleven.
Oh my God.
Yep.
but I don't drink though. But I'll tell you this: I just saw a report. Right, DC last year had a record number of homicides and shootings. I think they said it's almost 1,000 last year, and 900 and something shootings, and I believe the record they hit for murders was around 200, and it's like the first time they hit that in maybe 10, 15 years or something. So it's definitely an uptick in violence.
But remember last year, like right after what was it? It was after Trump rally. It was after something that happened in DC. They had a big shootout in DC, like about 35 to 50 people involved in like some shootout. Then it was in Chicago. Then it was in Detroit. Then Atlanta had one, and I was like, man, something's odd going on. You know what I mean? That it seems like each city, you know what I mean, is taking a weekend to be like, oh, it's our turn. And then they have like a shootout. Then the next one, they have a shootout. Then the next one, they have a shootout. But I think anytime, like I said, man, you have, this much mass unemployment, crime is going to go up, whether it's petty crime or whether, we're talking about like murder rates or whatever the case may be, crime is going to go up. And at some point, man, you can't hold off, evictions and mortgages forever. At some point, you're going to have to do something to get people back. You can't just stand there and keep saying, oh, people got to go back to work. You have to be able to allow the economy to flow in which there are jobs for people to go back to. When I'm looking at like the last little stimulus bill that looks like Biden is still trying to push through, I don't see how that money is going to get people back to work, because most of it is going to like private businesses, going into like their pockets. There's very little that I've seen that is going to help out small businesses, which is the biggest employer in America. Very, very little of it is going to help them to get people back to work. I don't see how $1 billion grant to the Smithsonian is going to help one of us. You know what I mean? I don't see how a $4 billion grant or $4 billion going into New York Transit is going to help us. $1 billion going to Egypt, 500 million going, almost $1 trillion going in to a bunch of different countries over in Eastern Europe. How is that helping us get back to work? How is that helping any of us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you need to look. I kind of compare and contrast with the other quote unquote developed countries and things they've done to shore up the economy during this time, whether they shut people down or not. They had, payroll protections where the government subsidized the actual payroll, not necessarily gave the money to the business, but said, pay them what you can and we cover the rest so they get their full paycheck. So there's some country that's paid up to like 80% of the paycheck, whether they're at home or at work, to help them out, there's been like other, I think in Paris, they pretty shut down some of the streets and this was during the summer. It's probably, during the summer, spring and summer, early fall. And they actually shut down streets and let the restaurants open up like little bistro areas for the whole, almost like what they have, like the white Dîner en Blanc type thing, but it's just like mad restaurants or like a, restaurant festival type of thing. Okay. And that's, not small, but there's like a lot of different things. The other countries that are more, more accountable to the people that, that actually do things. So there's things that can do, because America has the most money out of all these countries. So anything that they're not doing it because they don't want to do it. It's not that we can't figure it out. At this point, all I can say is they're leaving us to die or go bankrupt or whatever, whatever the fuck, homeless, whatever the fuck, they could do a, moratorium, complete moratorium until rent moratorium until the shit's over, or until, there's
vaccines start working or whatever the fuck they want to do. They can do that because there's other countries that have been doing that, but they don't have the will to do that. And, you know, it's fucked up, but that's the, you know.
It is what
So
it is.
So it's not a mystery. It's like they don't want to do the shit. It's like Biden. This is like when Biden told motherfuckers in Georgia, like, you vote for these two motherfuckers, you'll get a $2,000 check. And then they're in, and they're like, oh, no, you already got 600. So this is 1,400 on top of that. I'm like, but Trump gave you that. If somebody made a analogy, it was like, if you get a new job and the boss is like, yeah, you get paid $2,000 a week or whatever, and then you come and get your first paycheck, he's like, yeah, whatever you got paid before you left that job, we just putting that on that to make it $2,000. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that people, you know, they're making sure they're trying to give us the least help that they can give us, to the point, you know, that we won't rise up and, you know, bum rush the Capitol building for, you know, for legitimate reasons, basically, or to have like a giant general strike or whatever the fuck cats want to do, you know. And yeah, it's crazy. It's that's what I've come to. I'm just like, yo, they don't give a fuck, man. It's just like Trump comes in, they don't give a fuck. Democrats come in, they don't give a fuck. It's like, what you want me to do, man? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you want me to do? I can't believe, you know, and I don't try to argue with these people online. And it's just like, oh yeah, Biden's gonna do this. And what about the first black defense dude? You know, you find out that he's, you know, on the board of Raytheon. You got all these people, you know what I'm saying, all these people that have, just like you said, similar, you know, they don't want to necessarily deconstruct the government like Trump's cabinet did, but they have, you know, the same interests as Biden's corporate donors. He had like 100 billion, he had 100 billionaires funding his campaign, you know, funding his general campaign, like shit. And it's like, that's cool. Kwame Ture said something interesting. This is like a paraphrase of it. He was just like, and this is my paraphrase, don't mistake a black person in a high place for, you know, for the group's progress. You know what I'm saying? Because you really, and because it's cool, you could be like black excellence, girl power, whatever the fuck you want to do, but it doesn't move the group. So therefore, it doesn't mean shit. But it's cool, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, for one person's ambition, that's great, you know, but for the group, if it doesn't help the group, it's like, what the fuck is it for? You know?
Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill.
Yeah, that's why you're trying to put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. Motherfuckers can't pay rent. It's like, all types of shit, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Go ahead, Don.
I say that's like the ultimate disrespect to me.
Oh, it's disgusting. Yeah, it's disgusting.
I mean, she spent her whole life fighting, trying to, you know, she was, first of all, she was, according to them, she was a fugitive from law and a criminal. And she spent her life trying to get out of slavery and free her people. So instead of reparating her people and paying them for all the damage they did, they're going to put her face on a dollar bill that they're not going to give you. So there you go, walk around in your pocket.
Right. And someone joked and said, with Biden, that'd be like a $14 bill. I was like, damn. But yeah, it's crazy. But you know, I don't know, man. It's a trip.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. I think the next round we're gonna get into Paris, man. Since you brought up Paris and France, man, and their taxation that still goes on after like 100 years, man, 200 years, man, of taxing Africa and making Africa pay France reparations while they continue to try to hold them down as third world countries. I think it is absolutely ridiculous that they turn around and act like they're the victims when you have Islamic groups acting out in France, but totally ignoring the fact that you're bombing their countries. in Africa right now, that you're bombing their countries in the Middle East, and you want to play like the victim card. Much like the chick that got beat down in the at the Capitol. You know what I mean? She put her hands on like a black woman and got beat for. But the funny thing about that whole little thing, and I'm not going to get much into it or whatever, is nobody shows you the whole video where the black woman got beat down and not one person came to her rescue. Not one person came to her rescue.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that. Yeah. No.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I definitely want to touch on that whole friend.
She caught her nice. She caught her nice. I was like, was that a one piece or a two piece? Whatever she did, she like. Yeah.
Yes, indeed, man. I want to get back, man. You know what I mean? To have and focus, man, on what we can do about like this whole Pan-African thing, man. Because with everything that has gone down over like the last 8 years, 12 years, man, it is very clear to me, as my man Don goes in, man, that we're right back into like the beginning of the 19th century, man, where Marcus Garvey, you know what I mean, where we're not wanted here, but at the same time they don't want us to go, you know. And I think one of y'all touched on it when you were saying that, you know what I mean, the whole racial thing, the system is designed that no matter what, we always, you know what I mean, will remain the minority, so that other people can have something to justify, not necessarily justify, but to be able to measure themselves against. So even if you have like a bunch of Hispanics or a bunch of Asians, or it doesn't even matter who it is, they come here and they're like, oh man, we're struggling, you know, they can always look back and be like, you're not as bad as them. Ah, okay. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then that regains their platform, because we're the basis, we're the foundation, we're the bottom, we're what everybody else compares themselves to as not being able to succeed. So if you can do better than this group, you've made it. You've absolutely made it. Those are my closing. Any closing remarks, New?
Yeah, just speaking of that, there's a guy on Twitter, I forget his name, but he said something really interesting about talking about poverty, like in that respect where you talk, you know, not respect where you're like, well, at least I'm better with that than that person. And he was referencing the Poor People's Campaign, and he's like, we need to work on defining what poverty is, because poverty is not just not having money or resources, it's also not having power.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I'll end with, because it was just like, just think of lack of power is also, you know, a form of poverty. And I'm trying to, you know, I say that to say for myself, to kind of ingrain it in my own head when I think about it, you know what I mean? Because what if you have like all the money in the world and you have no agency for yourself? What's the, you know, is that, you know, not poverty? Is that, you know, it's like, yeah, you could have, you know, all the resources, but if you can't, like say like in Africa, you have all the resources, but you know, during the colonial period, all the infrastructure was built to take all those resources out, not to circulate it throughout the country, but to take it out the country into the ports to take it to Europe, you know. So it's like, so what is that really, you know? But that's me. Yep.
Everett.
What up?
I want to bring you on a special show, man. I want, you know what I mean, if you're ready to talk about it, man, like your COVID anal swab, and let everybody know.
You on fire today. You on fire. You're on fire today. You're really on it today. It's amazing.
Oh, you know what, man? Like, you put a post up, man, about Haskins. You know what I mean? And the most successful,
the Washington quarterback. Well, Pittsburgh quarterback.
Yeah. And about the most successful black head coach in the NFL. And you said something about, oh, well, look what he did with Bell and look what he did with Brown. Bell went to the Jets, and what did he do? How many games did the Jets win while he was there?
Well, let me go back. Let me go back.
No, hold on. And then
because some of those statements are trash talk. I don't mean it. I just say it. I hate Pittsburgh Steelers, so it could be a complete lie that I said. I'm just being honest.
But it sounds good when you're talking shit. I got you.
It was like, oh, he couldn't do anything with Brown. Brown ain't catch another touchdown in his career,
but you know what?
Until he got down to Tampa Bay. How many other teams did he go through? This dude went a weekend with the Raiders. Then he got cut a weekend with the Patriots and got cut. Didn't even make it through the whole practice with the Saints and got cut. You know what I mean? They had word about him going to Baltimore. So yeah,
That
you know what I mean?
it wasn't because he was whack though. That was just because, you know.
I think he just ain't want to be there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's just a wild dude. Like
he ain't having no problems in Tampa, and pretty well. New England was weird, but you know what though? I just think there's something that though Tomlin's a hell of a coach, but I think there's something there, and I don't think it's his coaching. It may be that maybe certain black players feel that they don't maybe show him the respect that they should. Look at Juju. I think, you know, Juju's been around for a while watching AB. He knows you can't be dancing on the logo, especially in a time of struggle when your team's losing a little bit. I mean, you're putting pressure on the team. So, little things like that, make me say, like, where's the discipline? Because you don't really see it out of white players. But again, like that one white player, when they all agreed to stand in the tunnel and not come out, he went out with his hand over the flag. Yeah, so there's something there. I'm sure there seems to be a lot of respect for Coach Tomlin. But then there's a little bit of, well, I'm still going to do it this way, but I respect you. You got to respect, and you got to respect the law of authority if he's your coach and your boss.
I agree.
Since you brought that up, what's going on in Seattle? And when is this going to hit the newspapers or whatever about
man,
he went to Maryland Eastern Shore, didn't he? It was one of your alum, isn't he? Beat the black chick down, man, because she wouldn't bow to him.
Okay, now check this out. I'm mad you did that because I was actually going to do a video. Shout out to Donnie because you got me pushing him out, brother. I'm watching you every day. Brother went from like 300 subscribers to like 2,000 in like 20 minutes. But he should be doing how to get subscribers on YouTube now. But Dez Bryant, the next show is going to be Dez Bryant. It's going to be coming out Monday. Dez Bryant, you are the black woman's hero. Because Dez was like, if I see you, I'm going to hit you in your mouth. And somebody on Facebook comment, Dez, what you got to do with it? It's a black woman. Period. It could be a black man hitting on a black woman. We got to respect the queen, the mother of civilization. So she might have went out and ventured out too far, but there got to be repercussions no matter what when you put your hands on a black woman. So shout out to Dez for saying, when I see you, I'm going to kick your ass. Bottom line, he's on code. Dez is a weird brother, and I love him because you never hear him getting in any trouble. Maybe a little when he was young, but nothing major. Just little incidents here and there, but nothing like, I don't even remember really getting in any trouble, even though they might have been looking out for him and watching. And whenever there's an issue like this, he pops out the blue and speaks his mind. So I was really appreciative because that came out of nowhere when he said it. Like nobody said anything. Not one NFL player said anything, especially the brothers. You know what I mean? Yes, this guy has mental issues. I hope he gets help. I'm not saying hate the white guy, anything like that. But brother, you put your hands on the sister. It's repercussion. That's a done deal. You put your hand on the sister, you gotta be repercussions. Because had that been a white woman and a brother,
he'd be locked up right now. They'd be all over the news.
They wouldn't care about no mental issues. He'd be under the bus. He'd be under the bus. Not unless he's OJ. I'm just saying. I usually say that on the Twitter. I'm just saying. Wasn't OJ talking about it? No, he was talking about something. He was talking about black jurors. OJ is crazy. Did you see that one? He was talking about
OJ.
Somebody was. He was talking about
got to go on his Twitter joint, man, and just go down the line with this dude, man.
OJ goes in. He was talking about people complaining about a jury or all black jury or something, and then he was saying something about his jury, and then he hit on what? I'm just saying. Like, I had one jury, but then that other jury, they got me. I'm just saying. Yo, OJ goes hard. It's just crazy, yo. That brother's crazy.
I gotta check him out. I haven't seen his Twitter.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he lit.
Yo,
I've seen a couple of clips people have played a few months ago, but yeah. He's a wild dude.
Yo, OJ is crazy.
Any last words, Don goes in?
Back to what brother New One was saying. Until I'm gonna say it like this: you can't run a successful plantation if all your slaves leave. So
My bad. Go ahead, man. That was a good one.
I mean, they don't want us here, but they don't want us to leave, right? So we just got to remember that how we flowing, and all this stuff is just another everyday slap in your face to let you know they don't care about you, they don't respect you as a people. I mean, how the one black dude in the whole white supremacist protest is the only one still left in jail. It's like everything they do is a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he might as well have been the dude with the Viking hat and the uniform on in the Capitol because that's how they treat him. I mean, the same dude they say they call him some type of priest or something. This man,
Yeah.
eat regular food, and what do they say? We're gonna find a way to accommodate you.
Mm-hmm.
So everything in this system says that we ain't welcome here. So I say it's time for us to look for an exit strategy and a plan. And I was listening to another brother that was saying, everybody can't leave. We can't leave. We need to group up in some places where that we can control the infrastructure, we can control the politics, we can control the police department, the mayorship, and everything in that area, and make strongholds behind enemy lines. Because until we do that, we're gonna continue to be subjected to these slap in the faces, these token gifts like this. Harriet Tubman. Now, let me get it. She's a warrior now. All due respect to the queen, she's a warrior. She was warrior. She went out there and fought for our people. So I applaud her on that. But I just think it's a disrespect for the same country that doesn't feel like they owe us. They paid everybody. Everybody got paid. They just got finished. UK just got finished paying the slave holders for the money they supposedly lost in the last couple of years. In the last year, in Africa, one of the countries over there, they paid the farmers for the land they stole that the president took back, and they had to pay them for so-called improvements on the land. So they got reparations. Every other group, the Japanese that was in internment camp, they didn't lose their race, didn't lose their religion, didn't lose their life. They got reparations. The white Jew got he got the Holocaust didn't even happen in America. They got reparations. Everybody.
Whoa. They still getting reparations.
Exactly. Everybody gets that, but black people. And two people, and I'm gonna finish with this. Two people I know that said that, I think somebody mentioned, Kamala said that she ain't doing that just for black people, and even Obama said that he scapegoated that and said the only reason them other people got paid because it was a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, the group is small, so they know that the reason that they don't want to repair that wrong that they did to us is because they can't afford that bill. Just imagine 400 years of minimum wage for all our ancestors for the work they did over a lifetime. That's the beginning of what they owe us, plus interest.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they ain't talking about the rape, murder, the assets that were stolen, everything that happened to our people, and hell, even our grandfather. You can talk. This dude grew up sharecropping, slavery 2.0 right there, where you were still a slave. You worked on the man's farm, and every year he told you still owe him money. So every year you was in the hole. So now you a slave, but they ain't got to take care of your personal health care. They ain't got to take care of your living arrangements. They ain't got to feed you, but then you still got to pay them everything that you worked your whole game for the year. So where's their reparation, their justice due? Until we unite as one people across the board, regardless of religious beliefs, regardless of your tribe, regardless of your if you like Biden or if you like Trump, if you like whoever you like, it don't even matter. Until we unite underneath our blackness, then we're gonna continue to get disrespected by this country. I'll leave it at that. Thanks for having me on. And I might do that class too.
How to get YouTube followers?
Yeah, how to get to YouTube? That was up.
That's what's up, man. All right, man. We out, man. Thank you, everybody, man, for being here, man, and sharing their opinions. Yeah. With that, man. That's it, man. Out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.